guys, welcome back to another video, and this one is going to be a first impression / review type video. So a while ago I did an art haul and I bought the Winsor & Newton Cotman Watercolours. I do quite a bit of watercolour, but I've been using a lot of the professional range. They're the only other watercolours that I had, and so they're very expensive watercolours. So I thought, do I actually need those ones, or can I just use the Cotman watercolours? I've seen a lot of really great artists use the Cotman watercolour set and get absolutely amazing results from them, and they're much cheaper. So I thought, yeah, let's try them out. So I bought them and I'm going to test them out for you guys today. I've used them a couple of times, so I'm just going to be kind of summarising all of my opinions on them, and as well as the actual watercolours, I'm also testing out some paintbrushes. So I've got some silver black velvet, I think they're called, so I'm going to be testing out those paintbrushes as well. So let's get into it. So first I want to show you what this watercolour paint set looks like. As you can see, it's just very nice, clean packaging, just got the logo on the front, but it's really nice and just white, so it's nice and fresh looking. And then when you open it up, you've got two different areas where you can mix your paint in, and they're different sort of shapes. And then you've got all of the watercolours as well. There's 45 pans in this set, so it's quite a decent range of colours. What I loved about this set is that you can actually remove those sides of the palette, which makes it really good if you want to wash them out, and so you can wash them easily without trying to avoid getting water on the paint. It just makes it easy. And then they are really easy to reattach to the paint set as well. You could also take the palettes off if you didn't want to use them. If you've got your own like palette like I use, sometimes you might not want to use those ones, so you can just remove them and use the paint without them. But like I said, you can easily remove them and then reattach them once you've cleaned them out. As you'll see me do now, you just slot them back in to those little kind of hole bits and clip this one on, and then that's good to go, and that's it. You just fold it back up and then you can use it again when you need to. So the paintbrushes I'm using, as you can see, they are a few different sizes and shapes, so I will link all of the materials in the description if you want to check them out and see exactly what the names are. But let's get straight into the actual painting. I'm going to be working on a watercolour painting, well obviously a watercolour painting, but a painting of a hedgehog this time. So I'm sticking with my animal themes, and I really wanted to do something really cute. Just to note though, the first thing that I am doing is I am adding masking fluid, because I know I'll get a lot of questions about that. And what the masking fluid does is it prevents any of the watercolour that you're putting down from getting on those areas where you've applied masking fluid. So what masking fluid does is it really helps you to preserve any areas where you don't want to get any watercolour on, you want to preserve them. So with this, I wanted to like preserve some of the little spikes, so any little light spikes on the hedgehog I wanted to preserve using the masking fluid. That's a great way, even if you want to mask off slightly larger areas as well. So let's get into these watercolours first. So the watercolour sets themselves, like I said, the one that I'm using has 45 half pans in it. And I'm used to using the professional range, which had 24 half pans, which was the ones that I used to have. So this set has double the amount of colours than I'm used to. And I really liked having the extra sort of range of colours. It was really fun to use, and it was nice to have that diversity. And of course you can get a decent range of colours if you were to mix all of like the 24 pans together. Like you can get a big variety of colour, not just 24 colours, but with 45 pans it just makes it easier as well to get a range of colours, because you just have more colours straight away. You might not have to mix as many colours, or you might not have to mix to such an extent so many different colours to get that colour that you want. And so what I want to talk about first is the actual price of these watercolours. So the Cotman set, which is 45 pans, came out at £32. That's what I bought them for. That's not bad, £32 for 45 colours. I thought that was really good. And so the professional range is £46 to £47 for 24 colours. So you get half the colours, but it's still a lot more expensive than the Cotman range. And to basically give my opinion on these, I couldn't tell the difference in the watercolour quality. I don't know if that's just me, because I'm not like this isn't like the only medium I do a lot of other stuff, so I'm not just doing watercolors. Maybe people that like are really skilled and just do watercolors would tell the difference, but I can't. And I think if you're a beginner or someone that just loves like playing around with watercolors as a hobbyist, or you just want to experiment with them, I don't think you'd tell the difference either, because I think the colour vibrancy is the same. I like the actual sort of the way they go down. There's not much granulation I found in these, which I liked, and I just thought they were a really nice range of colours. I couldn't tell a massive difference. When I used them, I didn't think, oh, these definitely seem a cheaper set. I couldn't tell. And so if you haven't got much money and you're debating which of the sets to go for, then definitely go for the Cotman set, because there's no point spending that extra money, not only to get less colours, but to get paint that isn't a drastic kind of difference in quality than that cheaper range. And like I said in my intro, I have seen so many amazing artists use the Cotman watercolors, so they can't be that bad, right? But overall, compared to other watercolor sets as well, I think the Cotman range is a great option if you are a beginner, or even if you do want to do this like professionally, because it is affordable. £32 isn't that much for a £45 set, and they will last such a long time. I didn't have to use much of each colour because they are nice and vibrant, so you don't have to mix loads of colours to get it looking really bright. And so I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I will leave a link in the description where you can check that out. I also like the palettes that they provided. I liked that they were sectioned off so that you can mix different colours. It's not just like one palette that's flat. It had the little grooves and like sectioned and divided the areas up, so it's nice for mixing the colours in there. If you want to mix different types so that they don't all merge into one another, you can like use different sections for different colours, which I thought was nice. I used that palette and also my folding one that you've seen at the start to do this. I'm working on some flowers as well, which I'm using with a bit of white gouache. So I normally use white gouache with my watercolours, and I use them with these and they work just the same, just as nicely. And so yeah, they work well with gouache as well. And so now let's talk a bit about the paintbrushes that I used. So these were the silver black velvet paintbrushes, and they are a mix of synthetic fibres and natural squirrel hair. So they are a blend. And I really like these compared to my others. With these, I can definitely see an improvement in quality. Before, I was using the Daler Rowney Aquafine paintbrushes, and I didn't really know what paintbrushes to get. Even when I looked stuff up, it was hard to find a massive amount of detail as to what paintbrushes to get. Well, I couldn't find much anyway, so I went for them. I just went for the cheaper kind of Daler Rowney ones. They're not expensive at all, and they did well. They were fine, but I wanted something a bit better, so I did a bit more research and I thought I'd try these out. I watched a YouTube video where someone like was testing these and showing these like whilst they're being used, and I thought they looked really nice, and I do really like them. I think they hold the colour a lot better, so you can use them for longer without having to pick up more colour or wash them out and add a bit more water. They really like absorb and hold onto the actual liquid watercolour. And also because they do have the synthetic fibres as well, it kind of helps get that balance, because sometimes the ones that are just natural hair might not kind of spring back as much, and they might be harder to use. I know a lot of people prefer the actual synthetic brushes, not only because you're not using animal hair, but because they actually prefer how they work. But I actually did like these. I did think it was a nice balance. I definitely think they're worth trying out if you want to have some decent paintbrushes. And they are a bit expensive though. They were quite expensive. I think the biggest one was about £30 on its own. So I am aware that these are a bit more expensive than what beginners would probably want to spend on paintbrushes. And so if you are a beginner, maybe go for something slightly different. Not these ones, because they are a lot more expensive. But if you're kind of intermediate or more advanced, more professional with it, then I do recommend these. I think they're very nice. but I have only got them to compare to like the really cheap ones. I've tried out other types of paintbrushes and I do think these are my favourite, but I haven't tried out a massive range, so there might be something else that's better. But in terms of what I think on these, from my experience and what I was able to produce, I thought they were really nice. But that is basically it for this painting. If you want prints of this, then they are available over on my Etsy store. And I really hope you enjoyed watching me create this hedgehog. I think it turned out really cute. I liked putting in the flowers in. I thought it made a really nice touch. And then I inked it with my fine liners and added some splatters. So anyway guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new around here for future videos. But that is it from me and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.